Welcome to today's conversation, where we're focusing our conversation today on the experiences of alumni and current participants of subsidized employment, transitional jobs, and employment social enterprise programs across the country. First and foremost, we really appreciate you joining us today because we know there's a lot going on. My name is Melissa Young, and I'm a consultant with the Center for Law and Social Policy, and I'm going to kick off today's conversation and quickly turn it over to our panelists today. Before we kick it off, I do want to thank all of our participants today, as well as our co-sponsors for today's conversation, the Center for Law and Social Policy, the National Youth Employment Coalition, as well as the Forum for Youth Investment that help support and make this conversation possible. So I think we all know that there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. right now, and a lot of conversation about how we build back more equitably for people who have been left out and left behind in the labor market. And we know that we can't build back better without intentional investments in workforce development programs that help connect people back into the labor market. People who have faced structural barriers to employment and oftentimes have been discriminated against and left out. We are best as policymakers and advocates and government officials when we put the interests and needs of people experiencing these programs at the center of our conversations. And so with that, we're really excited and very grateful for the panelists today who will be sharing a little bit about their experiences in these programs from across the country. And so I'd like to turn the conversation over to Jonathan Jones, who will be spearheading today's conversation. Jonathan, over to you to introduce our panelists and take it away.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and hello to everyone. So happy to be with you on this opportunity that we have to hear from our experts in the field and people who have done this. I'm Jonathan Jones. I'm the Commissioner of Recreation, Youth, and Workforce Services for the City of Albany. And just to start the conversation off, I'm just gonna go straight to our panelists, have them introduce themselves. We'll ask a couple of questions, and you get a chance to hear first and direct from them about how this can impact all of our country. We'll start with Heather. Heather, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, I'm Heather Tincher. I am a crew member with Coalfield Development located in Huntington, West Virginia.
Thank you, Heather. And we'll kick it to Daryl.
Hi, I'm Daryl. I worked with the Kin Code community over the summer.
Yes, our Albany's own. And Robert.
Yes, I'm Robert Smith. I am a warehouse manager, also a board member at Recycle Force.
In Indiana, yes.
In Indianapolis, Indiana, yes.
All right. And we have Konrad.
Yes, hello, I'm Konrad Cowell. I'm a fellowship policy member here with CEO Center of Employment Opportunities located in Detroit, and I'm also the founder of Resurrection Back to Life.
Great. These are our panelists. And so I'm going to start with the question. Heather, this question is directed to you to first start. Share with us a little bit about Coalfield and the work that you do there.
Coalfield is a social enterprise located in Huntington, West Virginia. Here I work in the screen printing shop of Mountain Mindful. I have learned from the time I started here, I started washing screens, and then I moved up to putting artwork on screens. And then now I'm able to operate the equipment that prints on t-shirts. So that's what I'm doing at this time. I also, I'm in school part-time as well in college at Mount West College. And also we have a personal development we do each week, 3 hours of that. So we have 33 hours of work, 6 hours of school, and 3 hours of personal development. That's the program here.
Wow, outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert, I know that you have, you've been at Recycle Force for a little bit, but can you tell us about how you got started there?
Yes. Upon my release from prison after doing 13 years, a parole officer referred me to Recycle Force as a program, nonprofit program, social program. At that time, I came into the program I was out for 120 days to be in the program with forklift training, hand swapper, all kinds of credentials that we can have to get through the program. At this time, I was going through a lot of barriers. When you're on parole, there's a lot of barriers that people, oversight officer has on you. You got a lot of restrictions. And I was so proud to come to Recycle Force that accept people restrictions when they come in the program that didn't hold me back as I was going through the program. And most of the things here that I learned when we got here that we could never gave up. It was always hope and opportunity here at Recycle Force. And I'm a prime example of it. When I come in here, I ain't have no hope about this program working. People gave up on people like me after 13 years. They threw me away, you know what I'm saying? But Recycle Force, and we say it all the time, we don't throw away nothing. People are trash. And that's how we come apart this thing, Recycle Force, that we recycle everything, even people's lives here, and they recycle mine. And as time went on, support team here, I come up to be a warehouse manager, a peer mentor, a leader in my community now, you know, coming through Recycle Force and what we have to offer here. And this program, like I said, is 120 days, but it's a whole lot we offer here in the 120 days, even with the housing, even with the mental health issues. You know, every day we helping people in the village exactly coming home. You know, we got a guy come home 33 years and we working with him right now. And he come out to be a genius here, you know, so it's a lot we got to offer here at Recycle Force.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Robert. And we have an accomplished offer. Konrad, can you talk a little bit about how you got your experience and the things that you participated in?
Yeah, when I got out in 2018, I found out about Center of Employment Opportunity through a reference. And the requirement was your parole officer had to refer you for Center of Employment Opportunity. So mine, was a very good parole officer, referred me to him, got involved with him. I just wanted to work when I got home. Done 29 years straight. So just let me get a job. That's all I pretty much want. Just let me get a job. Let me join the workforce. Let me continue to learn how to contribute to society after doing so much time in prison. So when I got with Center of Employment Opportunity, they actually made me look at myself, because in prison.
Okay, all right, everybody, we are back. So real world situation, technology cannot stop us. And so we're back with our panel. I'm gonna ask this next question to Daryl. Daryl was a part of our Summer Youth Employment Program. Daryl, can you talk a little bit about the experience you had with Albany King Code and the fact that you got paid for it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So with Albany King Code, I ended up joining because my mom found it. And at first I was a little skeptical about it, but I ended up doing it and I loved it. At first, coding was very hard and tedious, and it was something I couldn't really grasp. But after a few sessions and classes with John Sturman, I ended up getting the hang of it and loving it. And also getting paid from it was also a huge plus from it. So yeah.
And tell us, it was, how many weeks did you do it for?
I think it was about 9 weeks or 7 weeks.
Okay, cool. You got paid for that. That's an outstanding experience. Heather, I'm gonna kick it back to you. In the work that you did, you talked about how you moved up in different experiences. Was all of those experiences paid? And when they were paid, did you get different increments based on how you moved up?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Daryl, that's for
me?
Heather. Go ahead. Yep, so Heather, I'll come back to you, Daryl.
Yes, we did. Some people did not get paid for not participating in the work. So it all depends on your participation. And that's how you would excel in the program.
Outstanding. Thank you, Daryl. Heather, same question to you.
Yes, we did get paid. We had a starting pay, and then after we're here for a certain amount of time, we get increment raises. So with time, we would just learn new things, and with the raises, it just depended on like how far we were advancing.
Okay. And Robert, question to you, same, did you get paid in different increments? Was it always the same pay? I know you've moved up quite a bit.
Yes, we did get paid every day for the training. Also, for the increment, we elevated to like peer models, peer mentor. We always reach back and help others. You know what I'm saying? It was always a transitional thing. Each day we helping other people at the same time, like a class of thing. And yes, we did get paid for the training. Yes, and we did have implemented.
Outstanding. And so, Daryl, another question back to you. A lot of times with subsidized jobs, people focus on the money that you make. Can you talk a little bit about the relationships that you were able to build with the instructors, with your peers? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so I was able to build a relationship with John, the teacher for the program, because I would have to stay after sometimes because I wouldn't understand. So me and John built a very great relationship, especially off of learning coding. And I also built relationships with my fellow Konrads in the program. I would have to ask them for help sometimes too.
Okay, great. Heather, same question to you.
To me, it wasn't all about the pay, but that was nice, like we had to have pay to survive in the world. But the relationships, yeah, we have some strong relationships here at Coalfield. It's more like a family. They're not just here for like work issues. Like if we need anything outside of work as well, like anything we need, they'll guide us in that direction. And that's what's like I'm trying to take out into the community as well, because I'm in recovery. So like the things I've learned here, I'm taking back out into the community, and also like trying to lead others out in the community to work here as well. So I think it's more about the relationships than anything.
Outstanding, Heather. And Konrad has joined us back. Konrad, I'm going to ask you this question. A lot of times subsidized jobs focus on the money that you make, but there's also a connection between human beings and you build relationships. Can you talk a little bit about some of the relationships you've built through your experiences?
Well, one of the experiences I built was working with CEO. They do put you in place to meet a lot of different people, especially a lot of resources. One of the things they involve you in is not just work, which was a good thing, but they also provide you with different resources. Let's say your job and you need a car and transportation. So CEO was able to put you with the right resources, right organizations that you're able to meet that get you involved with programs that get your license. Like they actually pay for my driver's license, pay for my training, something that I didn't even have the funds to do when I first got out. And to meet the organizations that they introduced me to that allowed me to connect, network, it just helped me understand a lot about what's needed outside of prison, not just because I've been a part of it, but with these organizations and seeing what they do, it helped me really understand the need that's out here. And I'm thankful to have those kind of resources. I wouldn't have had them if I wouldn't have met and got involved with Center of Employment Opportunities. Wouldn't have.
Outstanding. Oh, Robert, I'll pose this question to you. When you think about other people who are returning home, what opportunities do you think they could most benefit from that you had the opportunity to experience? Even if it's not directly with your center, what do you think people need from coming home when they're coming back into our civilizations and in our communities?
First of all, and we go through it every week here. We need our people hope, man. A lot of people come on don't have hope, man. That somebody out here really still care about them, man. And here at Recycle Force, we care about everyone that comes home, and we trying to build citizens. We trying to get people back to stay out of prison. This how we have a mission. You know what I'm saying here that we trying to fulfill every day here at Recycle Force to help people to stay out of prison. And our main goal and get leaders. I worked around some good people here, support people that didn't look back and say what I did in the past. When you look back, you're going back. We don't look back. We always look forward because we moving forward here. Regardless of what we do, we always look forward. And we ask people every day to remember that. Don't ever look back. Ain't nothing back there in life. And what we do here every day. And I've just been so blessed to get the proper training and with the proper people to stay out here. It wasn't easy. Key Bank is one of that we work with now for us financial thing. They are our financial advisors, Key Bank. You know, like Conrad said, with your cards or whatever, loan, key banks comes in every week. Some people ain't never had a bank account, ain't never had direct deposit. You know, it look like magic when they get this call, you know, and when we sit back and, you know, and we really, you know, I have tears sometimes when I see people that let people know that we care about them, not just about ourselves. We here to serve people that coming home. And that's what this program about. And I'm so proud that I got through the program and to help people stay home, just to serve them every day.
Outstanding. You talked about hope, and my hope here is Daryl. Daryl, can you talk a little bit about the things you were able to learn in your subsidized employment experience over the summer with the YMCA and Albany King Cole?
Yes. Is everyone able to hear me?
Yes.
I was able to work with the program HTML, which is another branch of coding. It's something that goes into websites and it's more of a deeper meaning to it. It's more so like the back routes of a website. So it was very fun to work on that, and it was very tedious and it was very hard to get around. But at the end, we ended up building our own website. So yeah.
So be on the lookout. If anyone needs a website, Daryl can hook you up.
Okay.
Heather, you talked about how you are in recovery and you have been working to inspire other people. How can programs like what you were a part of and where you're at now, how can government officials and people like myself who are putting these programs together, what could we learn from you?
Well, like just seeing like how far I've come and like to where I'm at now, like the change that this program has given me and like let me develop into the best version of myself. Just if like I started out here like straight off the streets, right out of jail, really nothing to my name, and applied for Coalfield and got hired on, and now I have my own apartment, have my driver's license back, I have a car. I'm on probation, but just completed supervised probation. So next week is my final court date. So yeah,
Yes.
Coalfield has helped me like successfully stay out of trouble and complete programs that I start. So government officials, like if they'll just like have trust and believe in us and know that the ones that want to do better can and will stay out of trouble when given the opportunities. So
That's
yeah.
outstanding, Heather, and you know, giving you all the strength and support. That's outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
Konrad, you wrote a book about your experience, and how is the literature that you created and that you've put on paper, how is that impacting the things that you're doing with CEO?
Well, the one book that I've written is called Blurred Visions, The Making of an At-Risk Youth. And I wrote that book just in response to the at-risk community that we have in this country. And one thing about CEO, they wanted me to start thinking when I got out, when the computer cut off, but done 29 years. So I had no clue on what to do and how to navigate outside of here. My only trust that God would give me direction, and he showed me that direction through Center of Employment Opportunities. And one of the things they taught me was a job is good to get, but a career is something that we should aspire for. And they got me career minded, something that I didn't think I could be. Didn't have really work experience. I sold drugs as a teenager. That's what I did. So my work experience was very limited. But CEO let me know that the things that I've done in prison can be transformed outside in society. So me writing, I didn't know that I can transform that outside of prison until CEO kind of giving me the vision on where to take it and how to use that in order to help other people. So it's all about me giving back and learning how to serve. And the book I wrote helped me to do that in a positive way, to teach people that there's a cause and effect for at-risk youth behavior. It doesn't just wake up and say, hey, I want to be a criminal one day. There's a process. And I wanted to teach people about the process that creates at-risk youth, but how to combat it and overcome it. CEO gave me a vision on how to do that. And as a professional way, one of their slogans that they teach us is they want to create polished professionals. I like that. I took that serious when I first heard that with CEO. So if people from the crew, like who were there before, Nina and Sierra and Margaret, and just the whole crew that was there, and they used to see me come in, and I would always come dressed when I come to CEO. I come professionally dressed, kind of different from everybody else that was participating. But I was taking what they showed me serious because I wanted to present myself. And I knew we had to be, because we are ex-felons, unfortunately, we have to go the extra mile to let people know that we're serious about trying to do the right thing, because people are going to judge us based on our records. CEO never did that. They used your record in order to show you your strengths. And I appreciated that with them. And that's how I transferred that over to my book and how to utilize that and teach people. So every time I do speaking engagements, I speak about my book, I let people know where to get it. And it helped a lot of people. I just thank them for the testimonies that I get in emails of people saying, I'm glad you wrote that book.
That is outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you so much. One thing on that, you know, when I was in school, I was in the first grade. I got coined an at-risk youth. And my mother went to the guidance counselor and said, well, what is my son at risk for? Succeeding? And so thoughts become things, right? Our school system and how we project things to people is important. And I'm glad Konrad and Robert and Heather and Daryl, nothing has stopped you from where you are. So I want to transition a little bit to the future. And I want to start with my future here in Albany. Daryl, what should government officials be thinking about for the future for programs like you participated in? What can make it more attractive? What can get more people involved in it? Tell us a little bit about how we can do better.
Well, me personally, I think that the program is perfect. I love everything about it. It offers an experience to kids who don't get to have jobs or who didn't get the chance to sign up for a summer job. So this always gives those children a chance to work. So I don't think there should be any improvements. It's welcoming to everyone. It's no discrimination. It's a great program.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take that and run with it because we're right here in the city of Albany. And for those who don't know, our summer youth employment program that Daryl participated in is open to all youth 14 to 18 years old, no matter income or no matter what school they go to. Robert, I want to kick it to you. What can government officials, policymakers, what can we do to help more people become Robert Smith?
Yeah, I think it's I ought to be a little more aware of what we're doing here. And I'm gonna jump back real quick. We have a motto here called the ABC motto. It's any job, better job. And it's what we show people every day. Recycle force is any job. You know, this for return citizens come home. And we always every day look for them to have a better job. Then see career. We want everybody thinking about career first, you know what I'm saying? And like I said here, the biggest thing that we preach here, I always start something and finish in life. And I tell guys and people this every morning I talk to them. A 5-year-old can start a fire, but who can finish things in life? We got to learn how to finish things in life. And if the government, like they subsidize wheat, sugar, if government do everything, they need to just do it with people, man. We need them to back us up in this program, man. Because we got a lot of people coming home, more people than you think. There's a lot of Robert Smith on their way home. It's a bunch of them on their way home right now with nothing, not even no hope, no nothing. Address change, people, gone. And I just want the government to know to put more into these programs that we got. Everybody got on TV, Recycle for it, the CEO, all that. We need more support from him. You know what I'm saying? To keep people. We need people around. We got to have people in this world to make the world go around. You know what I'm saying? I was a bad guy. They thought I would never come home and do this. My dream come true through Recycle for it. Now I can stand out and show people if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want the government to know. Just support us, man, and what we doing at the Recycle for it.
Outstanding. Heather, I'll kick it to you. How could we be better and how could we create more stories like yours?
I think we can be better and create more success stories by believing in our people. Everyone makes mistakes, but it's those second chances that count, and just giving people second chances and understanding that no one is perfect, but they deserve a chance, at life, that and an education, and personal development, recovery, counseling, all that. It makes a big difference in the whole community, starting with one individual. So it's important to continue what we're doing.
Outstanding, Heather. Thank you. And Konrad, I asked the same question to you.
Well, one of my studies I took in while I was in prison, I attended CMU, sorry, too many C's. CMU is Central Michigan University, and they had a college program that they were allowing prisoners to utilize. That was helpful. Michigan, a lot of those fundings were cut, especially during the time I was incarcerated. When I first got locked up, there was a lot of college programs. One of the things government needs to understand is that the individuals that are locked up, the majority have outdates. The question is, how do you want them released? And in that program I took in college, I took sociology, but there was a quote that said, you can understand your country or your nation by its prisoners. And if we begin to understand who we have incarcerated, it kind of will help government kind of understand these are the people that are going home. So how do you invest in them before they come home? And how do you want them to come home? And I think it's 3 steps that government needs to really focus on. One is just first to listen and hear what's going on. 2, you need to see. And if you don't see what's going on, the best way of doing it is empathizing. These kind of programs, what we're doing today, this panel, it helps, hopefully, to help government empathize, to understand that there is a need. And 3, funding. Things need funding to take place. CEO has a great organization program that they do with daily wages. That takes funding, but those daily wages help. It gives guys support. It gives guys a hope that, hey, I can help contribute while I try to find a job and career. If government learned to do these 3 things, I think it would really help improve our country as a whole, especially now during this pandemic. Jobs are in desperate need. And you have men and women coming home from prison with a work ethic that's unbelievable if people see that.
Outstanding. Thank you all. I'm going to give all of you just a opportunity to say a final word, and then we'll have some questions from the folks in the audience. Daryl, I'll give the first word to you.
I would also like to mention how I had access to support coaches during the program. Now, support coaches were people that we could go to that went through this program. So it was nice to talk to someone who had the same perspective as me and been in the same place as me. Their names were Damaris and Miss Cheryl, and they were very helpful.
Great. Great. Robert?
Yeah. Last word, I like to say, we need to invest more in our programs that we got. A lot of people come home. Reentry is real important, man. You know, you entering back into society. You know, we don't call them ex-offenders here. We call them returned citizens. You know, and I believe they owe everything they got, you know, when they come home. You know, we deal with people with 4 or 5 chances, you know, and we don't give up. And he needed to invest more in the program than prisons, than jails, than whatever they doing now, you know, because people gonna be around forever. And we gotta invest in people. We can't say these are bad people, these are good people. We are people, you know. And once we learn that, man, we'll be okay. And I like to thank the Kingsley family and Recycle Force for giving me an opportunity to be able to give it a chance to help people that come home now, you know, to show them, man, there's hope and we behind you each step you take. You know what I'm saying? So I like to give everybody a thumbs up, man. I wish everybody well on their mission to keep going forward with what they're doing, and appreciate y'all all.
Outstanding. Heather, final word from you.
I just want to thank y'all for having me and letting me share, and also Coalfield for all the opportunities they've given me. Government should invest in these kinds of programs because it's detrimental to our communities, you know, like with the drug epidemics and everything that's going on. Like we need a safe place to recover and an environment that will what's it called? Let us grow into our own selves. So places like these are very important for us to have.
Thank you.
Thank
Konrad?
you.
Yeah, there's a passage in Isaiah that says that I will return them from the wandered land, and they will be pillars in their communities. I always interpret that as men and women who've been incarcerated, returning from that wandered land. And we're being implanted in communities where we would be pillars. And the reason why I believe we will be that and can be that, for those who take prison and really learn how to utilize the resources that's there to help better your life, imagine the power that's within you to change your community because you've been there. You've been on that bottom road. You've been in that lifestyle. You knew how to get there, what it takes to maneuver in it. You have the best experience ever to be an example of what it takes to get people out of that because you've been there. So us being those pillars, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I see it on a day-to-day basis with CEO, even with my own organization, Resurrection Back to Life, that CEO was my inspiration for even doing. I see the potential in all my clients and the gentlemen and the women that I work with, helping them find jobs, employment, and housing. But without organizations like Center of Employment Opportunities and the different organizations that are on this panel today, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. So imagine what it would be like and the potential that's gone if these organizations aren't there, if they don't exist. What would the state of our community really be in with one of the largest prison population in the world? Imagine what it would be like when those numbers come home and don't have the resources. Think of the chaos. So I thank God for these opportunities because it really heals a community. It does. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, outstanding. We heard from 4 pillars, and I stand with you. You get to play on words there. But I stand with you because I'm inspired by your stories. I'm inspired by your success, but I'm also inspired by the things you've overcome. All of us could have been in similar situations. And I know for myself, I will gain strength from listening to each of you and from learning from you all today. I really greatly appreciate the time that you've taken to articulate to people like myself and to other people who are joining me about your experiences. Hopefully all of us learn and that we can continue to advocate for more subsidized jobs because human capital is the best capital that we have. On top of that, we are looking at some of the most successful people in their endeavors. And had it not been for their overcoming their situations, we wouldn't have the opportunity to celebrate them. So I celebrate you all today, and we'll open the floor for questions from our audience. The one question I did see is about things that have been subsidized in a society, but for people coming home that is less advocated for. What are other things you would advocate to government officials that should be funded? So I'll pose that to any one of the panelists, Robert, Daryl, Konrad, or Heather. What other things should be funded along with subsidized jobs? Daryl, you mentioned a support group and support systems, mentors. Robert, I know you're a peer mentor. Robert, go ahead.
I really, the reentry program, you know, need to be looked at more too. I believe that the reentry program more, you know, because it's real big, you know, to be gone, you know, period of time to come back home with nothing, man. And you can watch it on TV, we're at war with these people. It's just chaos. Like Conrad said, it's just chaos right now, man. You know, with everything's going on. And don't nobody think about reentry. When I come through, I thought I wasn't gonna make it. You know, reentry. I was, you know, reentry, but you know, but it was so much support here, recycled for. And then what they did, they reinvented me again. That's what reentry was. Reinvent yourself all over again. And that's what I did here. We're gonna do it for other people. We are reinventing people again. Don't give up on people, man. We can't. We can't. That's also in the Bible. Love your neighbors. And people are our neighbors. So that's what we're doing here, reinventing people all over again.
That's awesome. Konrad, Heather, Daryl?
Yeah. One of the things I think should be focused on too is policies that are in play for returning citizens. For instance, I got a client he's been out 5 years or 5.5 years. He's raising his 14-year-old daughter, and he can't get housing and rent just because of the fact that he has a conviction where he operated, manufactured a drug house. Now, because of that, the policies that exist here in Michigan, everywhere else, but you can't rent when you have that conviction. Landlords run from that. And the reason why is because they're penalized if someone has been operating a drug house that they own. So they have a policy in play that prevents him from getting housing. So he can't get a renter's history. He can't get his own home because you need a renter's history to do that. So it's a challenge trying to find housing for him. That's one barrier. And this is a man that's working and taking care of his 14-year-old. Then you have other situations such as work. Depending on your felony, they have jobs that say, yes, they're felony friendly. You see a lot of that, but that's on a case-by-case basis. I have 2 homicides, unfortunately, and very remorseful for the actions that took place over 30 years ago. But today, in order for me to qualify for certain positions or any of my other clients who may have a certain job field that they're trained or certified in, I'm certified in mental health. But due to that policy that's in existence today, for that position, for me, you have to be 15 years free from any incarceration to participate in those type of jobs or careers or in the health field. It creates a barrier for those prisoners who are coming home that have taken training inside actually for these kind of jobs. It's a rude awakening when they get out and say, oh, wait a minute, I've been training and kind of preparing for this. Well, you can't get that because of the felony. So I think some things need to be in place to kind of put some standards on what to say should be an allotted time for individuals to with certain crimes or get employment opportunities for careers with certain crimes. There should be something in play to change that.
Awesome. Daryl and Heather, you'll get the last word. Daryl?
I think the mentors are a very good help. I think it helps the students a lot speaking to a mentor because once again, you're speaking to someone who's been through this. You're speaking to someone who's had the same troubles as you, someone who knows where you're coming from. So it's very great to speak to them, especially when people are embarrassed to speak to like the main top person. You can go to your mentors. So that's a great addition.
Awesome. Heather?
I agree with the mentors and peer coaches. We had a group that used to come here to Coalfield that would hold meetings, and we often do it ourselves sometimes as well now too, but that helps tremendously. And also like funding for housing, I think is very important because like to be able to focus on bettering yourself, you must have a safe place to call home, you know? So I think that's important too.
Mm-hmm. So we had a question in the chat from Andrea. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It says reentry starts a year prior to release, not days before. Would you agree, Rob? Heather, would you say women are underserved in reentry? Question to Robert and Heather.
I believe when you're doing time reentry, it's a scary thing when when you take them from somewhere and then somebody trying to re-enter into something. When you come home, they got all these, like Konrad said, you got all these stipulations, when you come home. More stipulations, less more when you come home. Don't go over here, don't do this, you can't buy this, like you can't live here. And it's hard. These ain't barriers, these is bricks, they putting in front of people. After you do serve time, you still marked when you come home. They don't give up. It's like your ghost, your past is right there in your face. That's why we practice every day. Don't look back. People gonna be out here, and sometimes I think the government don't understand what people go through when they get incarcerated and come back home after, over 10 years or whatever, time. It's hard, to take a human being and have him to start his life over again with all these, bricks in front of him. And I just want you to understand that, that it's just hard, for people to come home to start over again after so many years that don't have the right support behind them. And I'm so glad that I had a mentor I'm so glad mentors and peers. I'm a peer mentor now. Well, I can say I'm you, you me.
Mhm.
And that's how we do it now. I'm you, you me. And that's how we get through the day. We go day by day here. We don't do years. We do day by day, just helping each other get past today. And it's rough out here, but we got to do it, man. We got to do something, not to do nothing in life. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
I like
And
that.
we here is showing that we can do something. You know what I mean? We all got X on our backs. Conway, Miss Heather, me, I don't know Daryl we got X on our backs. We have them for the rest of our life. We got to put a shirt on not to see the X, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? And we know it up in our head is there, but we're going to move forward with things, but we ain't going to let this stop us. So every day is a good day.
Good. Well, Heather, the question posed to you was about women in reentry. Can you touch on that before we close?
Yeah, being a woman in reentry, I think it was very important for me to build those relationships with other women. In my past, like I really wasn't open or friends with females, but like entering recovery, I realized that we have a lot in common. And putting that ego aside and my pride aside and admitting that I needed help from other women is what really got me through. And here at Coalfield, like the women here have been amazing. Like they have helped me so much and they're like sisters to me now. So it's tough. I'll admit, like I rode the bus like by myself, like waiting out at the bus stop in the middle of Huntington to work, like looking over my back, like he said, an X mark on my back at all times, like constantly have my guard up. But I know it's gonna be like that for a while, but I'm okay with that as long as I keep moving forward and doing the next right thing. I mean, it's not easy, but like the things that I've accomplished are really worth it.
Thank you all so much. As everyone on this panel has said, we will continue to move forward. And with that, I just encourage our government officials, our policy leaders to also move bills forward so we can continue to have success through subsidized jobs. Thank you all. Peace and love. Stay safe. Melissa, back to you.
Thank you all so much. All of you are pillars and you've offered so many inspirational words. And I just cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank you enough for taking your time out today. Just building and echoing off of everything that you all said and that Jonathan closed with, we're grateful to have the support of many people in Congress for subsidized employment and transitional jobs programs, and we need more. Because we know that we can't build back better without investing in people and investing in communities. And all of you are a testament to that. So we're grateful for this time that you provided for us today, and know that we're going to continue to work hard, all of us, and alongside our government officials, the White House, and other folks that are joining this webinar to continue to push through for greater investments for these kinds of programs. So with that, we're going to sign off for today's webinar, but we encourage all of us to stay in touch and to continue to share our stories of hope and gratitude as we continue to move on for this week. So thank you all. Take good care.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Jonathan. You was the best, man. You was the best, man.
Peace and
Yeah,
love, y'all.
yeah, you was the best, man. You pulled it off, man.